1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister has directed the Ministry of Finance to ensure uninterrupted supply of funds for higher education. The President says China-Pakistan Economic Corridor will help Pakistan tap its full potential in various fields. The Senate was informed today that the target of reducing fiscal deficit to 4% in the next 1 or 2 years has been set. In occupied Kashmir, India has planned to set up Nazi-type concentration camps to torture the Kashmiri youths. In Afghanistan, the Taliban today agreed to conditionally implement a 10-day ceasefire. Russia has urged Iran and the United States to wind down tension. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan says the government will meet the financial needs of higher education despite difficult economic situation. Chairing a meeting on matters pertaining to higher education in Islamabad today, he said easy access of the youth to education is a priority of the government. The Prime Minister directed the Ministry of Finance to ensure uninterrupted supply of funds for higher education. Speaking about the curriculum, the Prime Minister said it should be ensured that the youth is enlightened about the Islamic and Eastern values, particularly our civilization, heritage, and Sufi's philosophy. He directed the Education Minister to ensure establishment and standard of universities and prepare a joint strategy in collaboration with the provincial governments regarding the curriculum and other matters of higher education. The President, Dr. Arif Alvi, has expressed optimism that China-Pakistan Economic Corridor will help Pakistan tap its full potential in the domains of energy, industry, and infrastructure. He was talking to the ambassador of China, Yao Sheng, who called on him in Islamabad today. The President termed cooperation between both the countries on the completion of various projects under CPAC as exemplary. He said friendship between China and Pakistan has stood the test of time, and CPAC will play an important role in further connecting, rather cementing bilateral relations between the two countries. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says Pakistan believes that a stable and thriving partnership with the United States is vital in the fluid regional and global environment, both in the East and the West. In a tweet, he said he had constructive session at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, where he spoke of reframing the strategic Pakistan-US relationship, laying out a vision for the bilateral relationship. The Minister for Economic Affairs, Hamad Azhar, says the government has set a target of reducing fiscal deficit to 4% in the next 1 or 2 years. Speaking in the Senate today during question hour, he said fiscal deficit for the first quarter of the current financial year remained within the target. Rather, according to the International Monetary Fund, we overperformed in this area. Hamad Azhar said the government took difficult decisions to save the country from default. He said over $10 billion of debt was retired in the first year, which is the highest achieved by any government. He said foreign exchange reserves are also on an upward trajectory. The Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Azam Khan Swati, informed the House that the process has been started to get approved regulations to ensure safety standards in vehicles. The Election Commission of Pakistan has asked voters to submit forms for registration, transfer, objections, deletion, and correction in particulars of their votes at its display center by the 24th of this month. In this regard, the Election Commission, in collaboration with the Pakistan Telecommunications Authority, has started a campaign to guide voters through public service message and SMS so that they could ensure correct registration of their votes. According to the Election Commission of Pakistan spokesperson, voters can get information of their vote registration and display center by sending their computerized national identity card number on 8300 through SMS. The National Vocational and Technical Training Commission will train 170,000 youth under the Prime Minister's Hunarmand Pakistan program. In an interview with Radio Pakistan's News and Current Affairs channel in Islamabad today, the Executive Director NAFTEC, Dr. Nasir Khan, said under the program, the youth will be trained in the latest technologies as per the demand of the industry. He said courses will comprise 3 and 6 months training, and candidates of all education levels can benefit from this initiative. The courses will be started at 558 centers across the country. This is Radio Pakistan. The Special Assistant on Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Firdaus Ashik Awan, has appreciated the Indian Muslim woman journalist Rana Ayub for exposing the fascist agenda of the Modi government by executing her professional responsibilities with courage and bravery. In a tweet today, she said, when a valiant person raises voice against oppression and persecution, it becomes a bright and commemorative chapter of history. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Information said Rana Ayub has unveiled the false claim by the Modi government that all is well in occupied Kashmir and revealed deserted roads and darkness of fear in Srinagar before the world. In occupied Kashmir, India has planned to set up Nazi-type concentration camps for the Kashmiri youths to starve, torture, and kill them. Addressing a conference in New Delhi, warmonger, former Indian Army Chief and incumbent Chief of Defense Staff, General Bipin Rawat, said young Kashmiri children are being radicalized and they need to be identified and put in de-radicalization camps. The All-Party Hurriyat Conference and other liberation organizations in their statements have said in the name of de-radicalization, the Kashmiri youth would be tortured in new camps. In Afghanistan, the Taliban have agreed to implement a 10-day ceasefire with the American troops and reduce attacks against the Afghan government if an agreement is reached with the United States negotiators during the ongoing talks in Doha. A spokesman for the Taliban office in Doha, Sohail Shaheen, in a tweet today said talks between the two sides were useful. He said if an agreement is reached, the move could revive hopes for a long-term solution to the conflict in Afghanistan. Meanwhile, a U.S. State Department spokeswoman has declined to comment on the matter. Russia has urged Iran and the United States to wind down tensions after the Iranian forces accidentally downed a Ukrainian passenger jet. Russian acting foreign minister Sergei Lavrov, in a statement in Moscow, said the tragedy was very serious and a signal that everyone should start working on de-escalation and not on constant threats. He said an increase in tensions between Iran and the United States will not help settle any single crisis in the region. In Jerusalem, Israeli police stormed the Al-Aqsa complex and attacked worshippers after morning prayers. Thousands of Palestinians performed morning prayers at the Al-Aqsa Mosque to affirm their devotion to it and their refusal to the Israeli incursions. As the prayer ended, the worshippers came out chanting Allahu Akbar. The police force stormed the mosque and started beating and chasing the worshippers. And now news about sports. Afghanistan beat the hosts South Africa by 7 wickets in the first match of the ICC Under-19 World Cup 2020 at Kimberley today. Batting first, South Africa scored 129 runs in 29.1 overs. In reply, Afghanistan achieved the victory target in 25 overs for the loss of 3 wickets. And finally, the weather. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country, while very cold conditions in northern parts and North Balochistan during the next 12 hours. However, rain thunderstorm with snowfall over the hills is expected at isolated places in the districts of northeast Punjab and Kashmir during morning hours. Fog is likely to prevail at a few places of the plain areas of the Punjab and Upper Sindh during morning and night hours. To end the news, here once again are some of the headlines. The Prime Minister has directed the Ministry of Finance to ensure uninterrupted supply of funds for higher education. The President says China-Pakistan Economic Corridor will help Pakistan tap its full potential in various fields. The Senate was informed today that the target of reducing fiscal deficit to 4% in the next 1 or 2 years has been set. Some of the headlines, and that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.